Yo, what's up, guys? We're live. We're doing another fight breakdown and prediction video. We got Fitz, we got Billy here. So, what's up, guys? How you doing? What's up, Billy?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. Getting ready for this UFC Mexico card. Back at it again here. Ready to get back on the horses and get back in the lab today.
Yes, sir. What's up, Fitz, dude?
Good, man. Been a couple weeks. Happy to be back. Pretty good card for tomorrow. Coming off a good card in London last week, keeping it internationals, staying out of the Apex, which I like to see. Back on the road. I think that's when the UFC is at its best. So, and these guys in Mexico always pretty much deliver.
Yeah, man. I mean, unless the elevation gets to some of these guys, there's going to be some good fights. And I like that they didn't really stack it with a lot of big guys. So, hopefully, it's good. But yeah, let's kick it off, man. I mean, first fight of the night, we got Austin Hubbard versus Marco Medeiros. What are you thinking about that fight, Billy?
This is one where I'm not really too stoked to get to the betting window with this one. I feel like both fighters have gotten a switch of opponents in anticipation of this card. With Hubbard originally matched against Hooper and Medeiros originally scheduled a fight a couple weeks ago against Elder. This is kind of like the second fight in the promotion. He's riding a 7-fight win streak coming into this one, but I think he's gonna have his work cut out for this one with Hubbard. He's like a jack of all trades, master of none, durable. I definitely feel like he can test a prospect. He's going 1-2 in his second stint in the UFC after making the tough final in 2023. There isn't a lot of edge in the win margin here in this fight, as I feel like this fight's going to be a close one with either fighter having an opportunity to win this one in the third, kind of like a 1-1 going into the third round. So I'll lean to the Medeiros side, and the over 1.5 is like a prop bet at -110, but if you wanted to go with Austin Hubbard by decision at +230, I wouldn't hate you for it.
Yeah, and what about you, Fitz? Who you got here?
Yeah, I'll pretty much tack on exactly to what Billy said. I agree. I'm not eager about this fight. I could see it playing out very closely. I'll edge a Medeiros decision, but Hubbard might have a good performance here. I think he needs to honestly probably mix in the grappling if he wants to win this fight. If he can get maybe 2 takedowns, that might be all he needs. But I think Medeiros will ultimately win a decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it 3 for 3. I kind of agree. I don't really have a good betting read on this fight, and I feel like it's gonna go over. But you look at, I mean, dude, even fight goes to decision at -250. I mean,
I don't hate. I mean, it seems heavy, but I feel like this fight's probably going to go to decision.
It's a little bit chalk, though.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's like, it's not like you really want to run to bet that, But
yeah,
you could put it in a parlay or something.
Put it with Emirates. Yeah, you get like even money.
Yeah, we'll talk about that fight. I guess you can go first on that one. So you got Emmers beating Miranda here.
Yeah, I mean, Emirates kind of has a weird UFC career. Never really put it together as I feel like he could have. Someone whose skills never really translated to octagon success. But against this opponent, I feel like Gabriel Miranda's a bit of a one-trick pony. I think Emirates should cruise. I just don't. I think it'll ultimately be a decision as well. This is one of the ones where I kind of, as long as he doesn't get submitted, I think Emirates, his grappling is decent too, even if it does go to the ground. Don't be surprised if he's the one initiating the grappling, but I think he should just keep it standing, and he'll pick Miranda apart from the feet. It's just a matter if he'll knock him out or not.
Yeah, I gotta agree with the pick on Emmers. And you look at Miranda's career, man. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like, I think he's finished 14 of his wins in round 1. And he's got 13 wins in like under a minute and 30 seconds. So he goes out there and he's trying to take your back, sub you early. And if he can't do that, at least in the UFC, both times he has been able to get the submission in the first round. He totally gassed and got knocked out early in round 2. And this one, I kind of feel like the same thing is going to happen if he can't get the finish, especially with it being that elevation. I don't see him being a guy that paces himself. He's going to go hard for that finish. And, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he submits Emmers in the first round. I don't know what the odds are on that, but I bet you could get a crazy line on that because if you look at the majority of his wins, it is going to be a first round submission. But I do kind of feel like Emmers is going to knock him out round 1 or round 2. Just think Miranda's going to go for the finish. He's probably going to fail on some takedowns and run into a shot and get dropped or something and finish. So, but what do you think, Billy?
Yeah, I mean, there isn't a fight that Miranda isn't in that isn't entertaining. All 17 wins inside the distance, being on the end of knockout reels in his losses. I mean, I feel like this could be the last fight of his contract as he enters the cage for the 4th time. Granted, he's had some tough opponents during his UFC run, but he isn't able to get his ground game or his submission game going in fights. He's often looking for the door. I feel like Emmers had a long journey to get up through the ranks to the UFC, but after getting head kick knocked out in Dana White Contender Series, kind of seemed like the turning point in his career. He comes from a wrestling-based background, so I don't think he's going to be like unequipped out of these wrestling spots. But there has been some sketchy moments, like the Pat Sabatini one, where he kind of just got heel hooked randomly in that first round of that fight. So like those would be the only like PTSD concerns here. But in this particular matchup, I feel like as long as he could stay out of the submissions, he should be able to win this fight. If not, get a knockout himself in the second round. If Emmer's old fight IQ comes back to Fulton, though, I think definitely he could get submitted. Gabriel Miranda to win by submission in rounds 1 or 2 is plus 900. I thought that was like a pretty crazy prop. I feel like that's his only win condition in this fight. Jamal Emmers to win and fight to start round 2. Maybe could be an angle. Jamal Emmers probably just as a parlay piece. That line's going up tremendously, though, in the last couple of 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, just me personally, I don't like that line anymore to parlay him because you look at Emmers, he has some questions too, man. I mean, the guy's 35 and he just got knocked out in round 1 in his last fight and then took a year off. So I don't think you could really like confidently bet him at minus 500. I get Miranda's not good, but man, Emmers, has he beaten anyone like in UFC of like that's good at all? Like, I guess he's had close decisions, but I don't know. I just don't trust him at that price. I wouldn't be shocked if he just like fucks people over, but I do think he's probably gonna win. But yeah, man, Rafa Garcia versus Vince Pichel in this next one. Another fight where to me it says just a pass. I mean, maybe you could bet Garcia by decision or something, which is I saw like minus 185, but I feel like the line, maybe you could parlay it, but it's a wide line. And Pichel is a dog, like he's gonna fight hard, but I just feel like he's too old. He's probably gonna get taken down. I was trying to look at the over takedowns, but 3.5 takedowns is a lot, man. To get 4 takedowns. Even though I think Garcia probably will do it, I was hoping it was
it's a good line.
Yeah, but I was hoping it was like 1.5. I would have get out that, But 4 takedowns is a lot in a fight.
Exactly. But it'll be right around there because Pichel's tough. It's. I don't think he's gonna finish Pichel.
Yeah, and so Garcia's coming off that loss his last fight where he got wrestle fucked, right? So I feel like he's going to want to do that to someone else. You know what I mean? Which maybe I'm wrong, but it's like Grant Dawson went out there and ragdolled him. Maybe he's going to want to go out there and kind of like implement that. So especially with Vince Pichel, a guy that's his takedown defense is horrible. I think he has like less than 20% takedown defense. So he gets taken down real easy. It's just hard to finish him. And, 4 takedowns is a lot. But yeah, what do you think, Billy? You like the decision here for Garcia?
I wouldn't say the decision specifically, but I mean, I wouldn't mind Garcia as like a filler parlay piece. I mean, this is going to be his first time fighting in front of his countrymen since his Combate Global fight days. I feel like he's definitely prepared to bounce back from the Dawson knockout. That was the first time he was ever finished before in his career. I feel like him taking on a 42 euro promotional bet and Vince Pichel, I feel like this could definitely be one of his last fights. I mean, this is his first 2-fight losing streak in his career. And I feel like it's just a combination of injuries and age starting to catch up to him. He's kind of just looking a step slower in his last couple of fights, just from the eye test. With the 55% takedown defense and taking a step slower against a wrestler, I mean, I kind of have to lean towards Garcia really being the side. I mean, the price tag's a little bit whacked out for a guy that I kind of don't think that he's going to finish Vince Pichel, but I mean, the submission's definitely on the table. Like, if I had to bet something in this fight, it's probably Garcia by submission. Like, if I had to bet something at like big plus money, it's probably Garcia by submission in rounds 1 or 2. But I mean, I gotta lean towards Vince Pichel not being him anymore. Of like two inside a distance losses out of 11 UFC bouts, so it probably goes to decision. I'm gonna say Rafa Garcia wins this 130-27. I don't mind him as like a filler parlay piece. Like maybe don't have him in all your parlays, but if you throw him in there as like a third or fourth leg, I mean, I wouldn't hate you for it.
Yeah, I think he's safer than Emmers, honestly. Like, I don't know what you guys think about that. And you can get a better price. Like, I see him at minus 400 on Bet Online versus Emmers at minus 500. Like, I feel like Miranda is a lot more dangerous to get a finish. You know what I mean? Whereas Vince Pichel, if he finishes Garcia, I'd be real. Like, who's the last guy Vince Pichel finished? I mean, I feel like it's been forever. So, but what do you think, Two Fits? What do you think about the under 1.5 takedowns minus 175 for Vince? I don't see him getting even one takedown, but
I mean, the only thing is if you're thinking Rafa's gonna, there'll be some scrambles, So if you're thinking it's gonna be a grappling heavy fight, I don't know if I want to bet the other guys takedowns because they could get in 50-50 positions and Vince could end up on top. But I agree.
yeah,
I don't think he's getting 1.5 takedowns. I'd be shocked if he got one. But if you're capping the fight to be, because the original play was over on Rafa, that Rafa's going to come in here and wrestle fuck him, there'll be grappling opportunities for both guys. That means.
yeah, that makes sense. I hear you. So, but yeah, I kind of like that though, because I don't think it's a crazy price, like minus 175.
Especially not. It should be like minus 225.
Yeah. But yeah, next fight we got Julia Palashri versus Lupita Godinez. What do you think about this fight, Fitz?
I mean, I think Lupi should dominate. Really. But Lupi drops the ball. You would think here at home at Mexico, and I'm not going to say you would because I do too. Palastri is still a bit raw, unproven, very young. Definitely a lot of potential, but Lupi's wrestling is really good. And we've seen her lose to these girls with really, really high level jiu-jitsu. I don't know if Palastri is there yet, so I'm back in Lupi. I think she gets a decision here, maybe even a finish.
Yeah, I actually agree. I got to go with Lupi. I think she's going to bring the wrestling back for this one. You saw Julia Palastri's her last fight. She got taken down at will in that fight. She was, or I guess the fight with Knudsen. I can't remember. The fight with fucking Jasmine.
I think it was the Corey McKenna one. She got taken down the last one.
Yeah, Corey took her down like 4 times or something, but she stuffed a lot of takedowns too.
I'm thinking
Guru. What was the one? I think it was the Dana White Contender Series one.
Yeah, it was it was versus Jasmine Jesuda Vicious. She was getting wrestled in that fight, which I mean, Jasmine's obviously like proved to be a beast, but I feel like Lupi can get the takedowns. Like I was looking at this one too, like over 2.5 takedowns. I feel like she could probably get that, like to get 3 takedowns, or her by decision. But yeah, I like Lupi in that one. I feel like she's gonna get it done. Do you think Lupi's gonna get that win there, Billy?
Yeah, it seems like the promotion's very high on Lupi Godinez, and they're kind of trying to typically in her career with some failed matchups of her getting over the hump against Jandiroba and Dern. I feel like this is a good litmus test level fight for her, as she's going to be taking on the Brazilian Psycho Palastri, and the game with her is kind of with inside the nickname. Like she's like a pure brawler on the feet, but not the most technically sound grappler. Like being taken down by McKenna and Jasmine Jasovicius, while both are grapplers. I mean, they're not like the most physically toned fighters. It's kind of like a little bit frustrating betting on Godinez at times, as she always takes like the hardest path to victory, it feels like. But if she can get a wrestling game going, I feel like she could look like a runaway favorite. The step down in competition could be good for her to get her momentum going back in her career, which kind of seems like the obvious promotional outcome that they're clamoring for in this matchup. But if you did play Palastri on the spread, I mean, I wouldn't hate you for it, but I'd rather parlay Lupi Godinez or play Lupi Godinez over 1.5 total rounds at minus 188.
Yeah, yeah, and I do think if this fight's close, they're gonna give it to Godinez. Like you said, I feel like she's one of the people that they're trying to build from this card. But this next fight, man, I'll go first on this one because I don't have a great read, so I want to hear what you guys have to say. But Christian Rodriguez versus Melky Costa, tough one for me, man. I feel like both these guys looked really good in their last fight, and they fought this year. So second fight this year, they're coming back really quick. I feel like Costa is the more dynamic fighter, like better striking, better grappling, but it's just, is he going to gas out in like a round and a half and then Rodriguez is going to take over is kind of what I'm worried about. But I was looking at Costa's submission price. I like that. It's like plus 900. I mean, I could see him getting a guillotine, getting the back, getting a submission. Rodriguez, he got submitted by Arosa. So yeah, but what do you guys think? Because I just don't have a really great read over who's going to win this fight. Or either one of you guys kind of confident on a side here?
You want to go, Billy?
Yeah, I'll go. I feel like C-Rod obviously is primarily making a career of like debuting prospects, undefeated records, and this is kind of be like a switch of pace here for him. My hesitation with backing him as a favorite role is like he historically starts slow in these fights, and it kind of like works his way into these fights using his cardio and durability to eventually change the tide in these fights. But I think Costa might not be as talented, but or have like the most impressive record on paper. But I think Styles makes fights, and if he can work body kicks, and while like C-Rod's trying to get inside range, I feel like this fight could definitely be a 50-50. I like Mel Costa on the spread here, plus 3.5 at minus 155. One of the plays that I'm thinking about playing, because I got to wait a little bit to fire on these ones, but I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts. Mel Costa on the spread plus 3.5, and David Martinez on the money line plus 101.
Yeah, I mean we'll talk about because I got a take on that fight. So, but yeah,
not one you're gonna like.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's with me on that. It's making me nervous, man. But yeah, whatever.
I was with you in the beginning of the week, but dude, that dude looked like shit at the fucking scales. He looked like a skeleton.
He was huge though, dude. When they did the face-off, he looked like fucking 2 weight classes bigger than Martinez, dude. He looked super jacked. But yeah, he did look like death, like on the official weigh-in or whatever. But yeah, Fitz, what's your read on this fight here?
I mean, it's a really good fight, dude. I'm excited for it. I definitely like. I didn't realize that submission is plus 900. I think that's a great bet. Because on the feet, dude, I think C-Rod is going to win the fight with the jab, with his boxing. I think he has a big advantage there. Melky's like a kicker. He does that very good. I think C-Rod, dude, he spent his whole life training with Anthony Pettis. He's going to be ready for that kick heavy style. Really, I believe. And I think his boxing is really good. A lot of times it's showing off his anti-grappling, his scrambling abilities, his jab. You're going to see it land here. You're definitely going to have to be nervous though, because Costa can definitely snatch a choke, and we've seen it. He's dropped the ball. He dropped the ball against Arosa. He got choked out. So I like maybe play C-Rod money line, like a hedge on that Melky Costa submission. That's how I'm thinking about this fight.
Nice, yeah. I just don't like. What do you think of? Do you think that C-Rod should be like that price, or do you think it should be like?
No, I like the line. Maybe like minus 145, but if it gets up to like minus 180, minus 200, that's where I would think it would be mispriced.
Yeah, and I might like, because I wasn't as high on Costa before his fight versus Feely, so maybe I'm kind of overplaying it, but yeah, I'm gonna just roll with Costa. But like I said, I don't have a read on that fight, honestly. But this next fight, I'll let you go first on this one, Fitz. Atiba Gaudier versus Jose Medina. What do you think about this fight?
Dude, I might want to bet Medina. I mean, I'm really thinking about it. It's tempting if you figure one of these crazy dogs is going to hit. We've already talked about it, with Miranda having potential, and we'll get more into it. If Gaudier doesn't knock him out, I know he went I think, did he go the distance on Contender Series or he knocked him out?
No, he
the
went
Korean guy. Yeah, so he proved he can go the distance. and Medina might be the worst fighter in UFC
Oh no,
history.
you're saying Gaudier?
Yeah, got
Got to
he
finish. Yeah,
he knocked him out.
yeah.
So if this gets out, he could be extended. I don't know. I'm not gonna bet on Jose Medina though, because like I said, he might be the worst fighter in UFC history. So I'll go Gaudier knockout. I'll be a bitch, but if Jose Medina wins, I don't think it would be the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Medina, man. I'm gonna pick.
Really?
I mean, what's to lose when you got that line?
Exactly. I mean, I'm right there with you. Just he might really be like the worst fighter ever in the UFC.
Yeah, but I mean, how good is Gaudier? Like, it's not like he doesn't have to be good either. Like, he just has to be able to last like 7 minutes. You'd think, and he's shown that he could do that before. But because if he gets on top of Gaudier and Gaudier is gassed, he's probably gonna finish him. I mean, especially the elevation helps him here for sure because he trains at elevation and. Gaudier, I think, is training in Dubai. He had to like fly from Dubai to Mexico. I don't know like who he's training with or like the people that are really coaching him going to be in his corner. I don't know. I mean, he could go out there and finish in the first round, but dude, Zach Reese couldn't knock him out. That guy has like 10 finishes in 30 seconds. Like, so a lot of people can't really finish this fool. So I don't know. I just don't trust Gaudier at that price. Especially if you think the fight's going to get extended. So, but yeah, what do you think, Billy?
It's just hard to gauge like the level of these African prospects. I feel like Gaudier does have all the physical attributes that you kind of want to see with a fighter on paper, but it's obvious that the promotion's trying to take their time with him. But he just doesn't have a lot of cage experience, like 5 consecutive knockouts under his resume. But his opponent Medina was one of those rare prospects ever in Dana White Contender Series history that's ever got signed like off of a loss. But I mean, just go back to the one fight that Gaudier fought past 5 minutes, and it looked absolutely fucking terrible. It was like against
lost to that fat white guy, yeah.
The coach guy that never ended up fighting again in his life. So it's just like huge red flag where like I just got to stay away from this fight.
And that was like, wasn't that in like 2023? It wasn't like that long
ago. Yeah.
So, dude, I feel like Medina, like, he should not be plus 360, but it's like if you bet on him and then you lose, like I know I'm gonna be getting people DMing me like you're retarded. So, but fuck it, man. I feel like Medina is a good play, and I saw like over 1.5 takedowns from him is like plus 220, or I mean over half a takedown, not 1.5 to get one takedown.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I mean, bro,
1.5.
He could get a takedown in this fight.
He definitely could.
He got a takedown on Zach Reese. Zach Reese is way better than Gaudier, man. You guys don't agree with that? Like, what do you say?
I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna at least bet the over takedown.
Like, go down to the takedown. I want to see if that's like maybe I missaw that, but on there his takedown it's over half a takedown for like plus 220, right? About to look right here. I'm like pretty sure. Yeah. So I don't know. I think he could get that shit, dude. Like, but I don't. We'll see. We'll see if Gaudier is like has insane, crazy power. But CJ Vergara versus Edgar Chairez in this fight. What do you think about this one, Billy?
Yeah, if there was ever like a street gangster turned fighter, I feel like Edgar Chairez would definitely be like your first candidate for that type of guy. But I don't know, man. I feel like his grappling transitions have been pretty impressive, securing a triangle choke in his lone UFC win. And then kind of used it defensively from being finished by Tyra from what he was talking about in his pre-fight interview on Media Day was he wants to come out really aggressive and get a bonus and an impressive victory. And TJ Vergara is definitely one of the opponents that you can do that with Temerov in his last bout. He was the first one to really knock him out, but it always feels like TJ Vergara has kind of found a way to avoid finishes. I think it was the Daniel Lacerda one that he was like running around the cage in San Antonio. Still in this matchup, I feel like he's going to want to try to contest on the feet, which isn't going to initially work out. So I feel like outpacing Chairez is really his only way of winning this fight, but I feel like it's inevitable for him to avoid this loss here. kind of like Charas here, but I didn't really get to the window betting it. The more that I kind of like think about it, I feel like I should be betting them, but I just don't know how to play it. Like the money line's a little bit too wide. The prop angle, I would want to go probably submission or decision, but I wouldn't rule out a knockout either. I mean, like CJ McCarr, I don't think he has like the craziest chin ever.
Yeah, I think that it's dog or pass here, honestly, man. I mean, I get what you're saying with Charas, but if CJ can get out of the first round, I think he has like a 50% chance to win the fight. I mean, Charas is 0-4 in decisions, and like you said he's going to go out there and try to get a quick finish. It's like if that doesn't happen, CJ could easily make it super competitive. And Vergara, like he didn't get knocked out versus Tamaroff. I don't think you could say it's a bad chin. I mean, it was body shots that he got finished with, so it wasn't like a KO to the head. And he's got spinning wheel kick to the chin, and he was able to survive, dude. So I feel like the guy, even though he might run away and look kind of goofy, like he's able to take some fucking heat, and stay in there. So Chira's, he's definitely dangerous. Like he has that guillotine, and then his striking is good. But every fight that he's had in UFC that's got extended past the first round, he lost. He lost to Clayton Carpenter. He lost to Josh Van. He got dominated in the later rounds. And I believe like he's only won like one fight that's gone past the first round. So I think if you want to bet Chires, I mean, maybe bet him round one. But I think Vergara by decision is a good play. Maybe if it gets out of the first round, I think you could easily win a decision here. So that's kind of my angle on the fight. But what do you think about it, Fitz?
Ultimately, it's going to be a pass. I've been thinking. I like both guys, actually. I've seen Vergara fight live, I think, a couple of times now. Always tough. His losses are to really good fighters. And I think Charas is a really good fighter. I'm a fan of him. Looked great against Van until he didn't. But fighting I can't fade him. Fighting in Mexico, honestly, I think he's too good. And I would like to pick CJ Vergara just because I think he definitely could pull this fight off, especially like you said, if he extends it. Maybe take Vergara by decision because that's like the only path. I don't think he'll finish Charas. I think Charas is real tough. So if that's what you want to go, I think that's how Vergara. I would just bet his decision. Really, I'd be shocked if he finished it, but yeah, ultimately I pick Charas to get a decision win of his own. Maybe Vergara is just as tough. I don't know if I see him finishing him.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, what's the line on that? Because that would be his first decision win, so you might be able to get like a good price on that. Or plus 150. I thought it'd be better than that, but
yeah,
I guess it's a lot better than minus 275 though. But yeah, Kevin Borjas versus Lazy Boy in this next one. I think what was the weight miss for Ronaldo? He missed weight by like
2
a decent
pounds. I don't think so. I think 2 pounds. I think I saw the fights at 127, but I also might be wrong.
Oh, so he weighed in at 127.
I could totally be wrong, but
okay.
I thought he missed weight by 2 pounds because he looked like shit on the scales, but then
I thought he weighed in at 138, but then maybe he
maybe it was 137. That's 138 would be crazy.
Or 128. I don't know. I can't remember though. It could be. You could be right.
27, close enough, guys. Come on.
Yeah, but yeah, he missed weight. He's the only one that missed weight, and he's like a huge star though. I think Borjas is a lot better on the feet. I mean, Lazy Boy striking is terrible, man. I mean, I watched like he's just fast. Like I feel like I don't know why he doesn't train his stand up. Like I feel like he just really relies on his speed and his chin, and then he'll throw like these crazy hooks. But I don't think he has great technique. And then his grappling is really good though. Like you could tell, like he has good sweeps. If he takes the back, he's like really tight. And his submissions look good. So I kind of feel like he's going to submit Borjas here, but I do get why the line's close because I think Borjas is a lot better on the feet, but I don't think he has a crazy power. And I think Rodriguez could take some shots and eventually take him down and get the sub. So I kind of like that angle, but what do you think about it, Billy?
Yeah, it's one of those ones where like I see a lot of sharps on Boras, but I kind of just don't see it. Where I like Lazy Boy a lot here. His last fight versus Odi Osbourne kind of seemed like a monumental point in his career where like he fought through a lot of adversity and kind of won that one. Thought that one was kind of bullshit that he won it by unanimous decision, but I feel like Boras is just a striker, and that's really it. Like he hasn't really been able to get a win in the UFC throughout his first couple of fights. Throws a lot of volume on the 3 feet, but his wrestling background is just like somewhat highly unknown. 61% takedown defense, being taken down by Joshua Van twice, the one dude Diaz on the Contender Series 5 times. Like he's given up control time and positions on the ground. And if he does that against Lazy Boy in this matchup, I feel like it's going to be a long night for him. If he keeps this fight on the feet standing, like, yeah, he probably has a shot, but I don't think that happens. I think Ronaldo is able to get some ground positions here.
Gotcha. And then what about you, Fitz? Who you got?
Yeah, I like Lazy Boy here. I thought the line would be wider. I know the fight against Ode. I was on Ode. I faded him. He's still unproven, but in Mexico, dude, I mean, this guy's a superstar. They're setting him up. He's got like 3 million followers on Instagram. I'm surprised he's not on the main card, honestly. Like, he was on the main card for the Sphere, and he has a crazy, sick-ass fight, and then you don't put on like, come on. This is sometimes where I get frustrated with the UFC because what are you doing? Why is this guy is like the biggest star in Mexican MMA right now? If you're looking at it at least from like a social media standpoint, like, and the main card's pretty stacked, yeah, but you got I guess it is on the main card. It says here, but it's 1 6 fight main card. All right, so I'm gonna do it.
So it's kicking it off, but yeah, maybe it should have been like the co-main event or something.
I don't know about co-main. I think Gaslam and Pfeiffer should be the co-main if that's what we're nitpicking. But yeah, give me Lazy Boy. And I'll say he gets a submission too. I think he's gonna get the crowd going nuts here in Mexico City.
Yeah, and you can get like his submission props are pretty good. Like I saw, like you can get like plus 400 on some books. So I don't think that's the worst bet. Even though Borjas, he did survivors, that Victor Diaz guy is like a good jiu-jitsu guy, but I feel like it'll be different here. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere. But yeah, man, next fight, we got David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. Interesting one, man. I mean, this is the play of the week that I gave Simon Oliveira. I feel like David Martinez, man, it's like minus 500 UFC debut. I just watched his last fight. He's fighting that Xavier Franklin guy. No clue how good Franklin is, but I feel like Simon Oliveira is so underrated, man. The guy was winning clearly, like the minutes versus Daniel Marcos. He took him down in the first round like multiple times, and I feel like David Martinez. I watched. He's gonna go backwards the whole time. I mean, he's super fast. He's gonna throw nice kicks, but
he knows how to fight going backwards. So that's the thing. I mean, he's a master at it.
Yeah, but dude, that's what Oliveira wants. I mean, Oliveira wants him to go backwards where he's going to get in these crazy exchanges and then try to take him down. I'm just worried about Oliveira gassing out super early because he hasn't fought in a while. But if he doesn't gas, I think he's going to be able to pressure and make it close, get some takedowns. I could see him getting a submission in the first round. Dude, he was super close to submitting Tony Gravely early in their fight. And Martinez hasn't fought anyone that's making me confident in him in this price. I mean, he could go out here and dominate, but I'm not a big fan of like karate, taekwondo fighters anyways, as it is. Like, I feel like I just don't like that style. This guy's been able to go out there and beat some of these guys, but I don't know. He hasn't fought anybody except first Brazilian guy that he's fought. He's fighting a lot of Mexican grapplers that, to me, that's like the easiest style to beat. So, but yeah, man, I mean, Billy, you got Martinez all day here?
I wouldn't say all day, but I do like what I see. Ex-Combate Global Bantamweight champion. So even though he's making his debut, I mean, he's used to fighting in this region. 9 out of 11 wins by knockout. I mean, it kind of poses a big problem for the Brazilian opponent. I feel like Oliveira is a sneaky submission game, but his defensive striking seems highly problematic. If he isn't able to get his ground game going, I feel like it's going to be hard for him to kind of compete and fights in general. And only being 5'4" in the weight class, I feel like his game just hasn't really translated over to this level. Like his regional scene tape looks fine, but then like his UFC fights are kind of shitty. It feels like the promotion's kind of giving Martinez all the advantages in his debut, fighting in his hometown, having the better cardio, bigger, faster. I wouldn't say stronger, but better cardio, faster fighter. I think Martinez is just going to win the fight. Is it going to be a knockout or not? I don't know, but I think he just wins the fight.
Yeah, I hear you. What about you, Fitz?
Yeah, I like Martinez too. I will say, dude, I got an order at work today with the same exact name spelled like that, and I've really never Simone, and I've really never seen it before. So we were talking about it. I was like, oh, that might just be the sign, dude. That might be the universe, because that's a weird ass name. So I like did a double take, but I really like David Martinez. Yeah, off the Contender Series. I'm not gonna fade him in his debut in Mexico. I know he's gonna be smaller. He's gonna be undersized in a lot of fights. This guy is fast as fuck, and I think it's gonna show here. He's gonna have a huge speed advantage. Land a lot of kicks. Like I said, that Taekwondo style sometimes it doesn't translate. Good point, Guru, but. Yeah, I'm gonna back a guy I liked coming off Contender Series. You know, I that's how I feel about it. You know.
Yeah, I hear you. Another thing I will say, I don't know, it has nothing to do with it, but his sister lost her first UFC fight too, so I don't know. I just feel like Simone is sneaky here, man. I think he has a chance. But what's the next fight we're gonna talk about on the card here, Fitz?
Yeah, just moving up on the card now.
It's the Rosas one, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Raul Rosas versus he's going to be taking on Vince Morales. That's a weird fight, man. I'm really surprised that they got Vince to accept that fight. He's getting a lot of paychecks.
Vince is
really
a savage,
quick.
yeah.
But dude, I mean, I'm pretty sure he broke his nose his last fight, so that was like a month ago. I don't know how he's going to really take damage. I feel like nose going to break really quick again if even if they're grappling potentially. I don't know. I think this is a clear setup for Rosas. He's going to be able to get the takedowns on the feet. I mean, Morales is the better striker, but I don't think it's really going to stay there in the stand up too much. And Morales's like submission game is good, but he's going to engage in the grappling. Like he's going to go for chokes and things like that. I think that's going to give openings for Rosas. And I kind of think Ro is going to get another submission here. So what do you think, Billy?
Yeah, I'm scared to say this out loud, but Raul Rojas might be my most confident pick of the week. I mean, I think this is a really good matchup for him. I mean, Vince Morales, second stint in the UFC while he's going 3-7 in the promotion, and he's fought some decent level of competition of fighters. I feel like in this matchup, he's going to be able to stuff the first couple of entries, but eventually he's going to get taken down to the ground. And Morales has a tricky submission game off of his back, but he spends too much time there where I don't think he's going to be able to win this fight. See, Rojas Jr. getting his wrestling game going. This seems like a very good matchup for him to get back into the win column in front of his hometown fans on a main card here. I think he wins this one by decision. But if you wanted to go crazy on a prop and sprinkle a little bit to make a lot, I mean, his knockout prop in rounds 1 or 2 plus 1,200. You just got done talking about Vince Morales coming back. I mean, I think it wouldn't be like a standing TKO. It would be more of a ground and pound knockout. But I mean, plus 1,200 knockout rounds 1 or 2. What do you guys think about that? And what are your thoughts about Raul Rojas and some parlays? Because one of the things I'm thinking about doing is anchoring him and then spinning him off with other legs on the card that maybe the line is too juiced, but I wouldn't mind having it as a parlay piece.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I think he's gonna sub him. I've actually seen Rosa sub Vince Morales in person. But yeah, I just feel like he's gonna get his back and submit him in early. But yeah, I mean maybe, but Rosas, he doesn't like ground and pound guys out like that when he takes them down, you know. Even the one knockout he got in UFC, it was on the feet when he KO'd that Alaska guy,
Yeah.
Mitchell or whatever. But maybe. I mean, it's crazy line, you know what I mean? But I think if he knocked him out, it'd be like he just catches him like with something stupid standing, which is like super unlikely. But yeah, what do you think, Fitz?
I mean, Vince is my boy. Hard not to be biased, you know. And I mean, the line is a little wide, you know. No matter what, I would think, you know, just because you know, Rosas has dropped the ball. He didn't even look, you know, that. I mean, it was a good performance in his last showing, but you know, still a young kid to have this high of a line on. But you're saying it. He's getting submitted in practice by him, you know. So I don't think anything's gonna change when they actually fight. And Vince was just an award, dude. It's. I think they're setting him up. Rosas is gonna get a sub. I just hope this is, not Morales' last fight in the UFC, but it'll be tough, you know, not to cut him after going 0-3. But look at who he's fighting. You know, it's.
I think he got a 4-fight deal, so they'll probably give him another fight because all these fights he's taken are like shit dances. You know, like his first fight, he went to where did he go? France or something like that.
Yeah,
When he fought
to fight
so,
I mean, they cut Lapalus,
yeah.
so
Yeah, I think Lapalus probably like wanted like to like get more money, and then he's not like fun to watch, so they're like, fuck it, like we don't really need you, you know. But Vince will fight for whatever you think. But yeah, I just feel like, man, it kind of reminds me of the fight with Ricky Tercios and Rosas. But hey, in that fight, Ricky got really close to choking out Raul, so maybe Vince will have like a moment, you know, where he could shine a little bit. But I think he's gonna get submitted though. But yeah, Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum in this next one. Big underdog for Kelvin here. I mean, you think he could pull it out again, Fitz? You think he's officially kind of done here?
I'm not going to take him in. I love Kelvin Gastelum, dude. I back him in a lot of fights, you know, and a lot of times he's paid off. You know, I'm pretty good betting Gastelum fights. I think, you know, I'm pretty sharp on when to fade him. And maybe I'm tripping. Maybe Gastelum's. It's true. I mean, maybe he's gonna outbox him, but I think Piper's gonna dominate him. I mean, we saw what Sean Brady did to him. This is like Sean Brady's fucking killer teammate who's a lot bigger, you know. And I know Gaslam's talking about stupid ass. Finally has a nutritionist. Decide he's 100% 185. You know, it's like, dude, how many times are we gonna hear the same story with this guy? And I like him, bro. He's a great fighter. And in Mexico, Piper, one thing we got to say, we haven't on this stream talked too much about it. Piper might gas really bad if he's not acclimated to the altitude. That's one thing I'll bring up, but I think he'll I don't know. Does he finish Kelvin Gastelum? Is that crazy to say?
I could see like subbing him, you know. Like Kelvin has gotten subbed by a lot of like bigger guys, you know what I mean? Didn't Weidman subbed him, and so did I mean, Sean Brady isn't like a big guy, but Brady subbed him, and I think he got subbed by someone else too, Hermanson or something like that. But yeah, I agree. I just feel like I can't get on the Calvin train, man. I think the double leg from Pyfer is like one of the best double legs in MMA. I think he could get takedowns here pretty easy. I will say, Calvin though, like in hindsight, when you look at the fight between Brady and Leon, like Calvin did a lot better than Leon did, honestly. Even though he's getting taken down at will too, he actually got up like quite a few times and he defended some takedowns. But I just feel like with Pyfer, like I could see a submission, or I could see Pyfer like kind of dominating like 2.5 rounds, and then maybe Calvin like rocks him at the end, you know, and that's about it. But yeah, what about you, Bill? You think Calvin has a shot here?
I thought the line initially was just going to keep on going up, but then it kind of just is going down. I wonder where the bookies would say liability-wise where they're at, but I do like Joe Pyfer in this matchup. I feel like if he does strike, this fight's going to be really close, but if he decides to wrestle, you could definitely look like a runaway favorite. You can kind of just see the size difference at the weigh-ins of like maybe not in like body stature, but more in like height and length. I feel like Pfeiffer is gonna be able to do whatever he wants. There's a lot of early Kelvin action, but I feel like this line's balanced itself out. I don't mind Joe Pfeiffer as a parlay piece.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about him like parlaying him just because like.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to prop bet it.
No, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, it's like I feel like there's a couple guys, dude, that are sketching me out. Evers and fucking Joe Pfeiffer are like sketching me. Like, it's like I want to put him in a
Yeah,
parlay.
I'm thinking myself into Gaslam, dude, because how does Pfeiffer win the fight? Submission? Yeah, I mean, I guess, but
yeah,
dude, he might gas, bro.
Yeah, he did. Like, dude, he had that shitty fight with Hermanson, and then his last fight, he got like a knockout in like 1 minute. You know, he didn't really like have to work for it too much. You know, I don't see him knocking out Kelvin. You think he could? You think he has that? I guess his power is crazy though, but dude, Kelvin is like eating everyone's hardest shots. You know what I mean? But I don't know. If he KOs Kelvin, that would be kind of sad. If Pfeiffer just like knocks one punch, deads him, you know. But
I don't think that's gonna happen though.
Well, that's why I don't like is like, dude, if it goes to decision, you know, there's gonna be there's probably gonna be like a couple sketchy moments, you know. Maybe he'll dominate, but yeah.
I mean, just how do you think the striking plays out, though?
I think probably Kelvin is better, but just Pfeiffer has that ability to like maybe knock him out, you know, or like rock him or drop him or something. But didn't Cannonier like he almost knocked out Kelvin, I think, but
no one's knocked out Kelvin Gastelum. If we're talking the most uncrackable chins in UFC history, his chin. We're talking Kelvin. Like how many chins can we say haven't been cracked in UFC history? No one's cracked Kelvin's chin. So
that's what I'm saying.
Max has got cracked. You know, a lot. Gaethje's been cracked. All these legendary chins. But I mean, John Jones, of course.
I guess Drew Dober. Yeah.
I mean, I guess you don't count TKOs as whatever, you know.
Well, that was a cut, though. I mean, it wasn't. But it wasn't. He didn't get.
It's fair.
I mean, didn't get cracked. Like he didn't get KO'd.
Yeah. Good point.
But yeah, I get it. But I'm just saying, it's crazy they're back to back. Like, those are two of the best chins in heavyweight.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is a good card, dude. And Moreno in the main event, like it's a very solid card for Mexico.
It's a good fight night card.
Seems like we're all on some favorites, but it's like I don't know. I'm scared to pull the trigger on the parlay, but if we're all on him, you know, you think it might be kind of safe.
I'm like almost on Gastelum at this point. The more I think about it, because. Right. But this happens. I love Gastelum.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He like gave me Chris Weidman's last ever good win. So.
Yeah, I'm looking like, dude. He beat Chris Curtis and D-Rod though. Like, I just don't think they're like great.
I think Chris Curtis versus Pfeiffer is a close fight. No.
Style wise, yeah, but I just feel like for Kelvin, that's not as hard of a fight, you know.
Let me go grab a drink real quick. But
I get what you're saying, though. Yeah, like Chris Curtis versus Pfeiffer would be a hard fight for Pfeiffer, but like he's not going to even engage in the grappling at all, like Chris Curtis. But yeah, we got the co-main event: Drew Dober versus Manuel Torres in this one, even money line. Which, you know, I was a little surprised. I thought Dober would maybe be a slight underdog just because he's been. I think he's lost 2 in a row, and he got a lot of damage put on him in his last fight. But even line, I kind of get it, though, because Torres is unproven. But what do you think about it, Fitz?
I mean, Torres is a tough guy for me to gauge, personally. I faded him. You know, I had Bahamundes. That was a big play of mine. And I liked Torres before that, but like you said, very unproven. Dober, if there's anything it's proven. You know what you're gonna get with Drew Dober. He's gonna, you know, march forward, try to strike, you know, be an absolute savage, get in dog fights. He calls himself like the gatekeeper, Justin Gaethje. You know, he knows his role, and he's gonna look to keep the gate here against Manuel Torres, and I think he does Not too much confidence here. This is one, guys, don't be a degenerate. I would just sit back and relax and enjoy this fight. And I know it's real tough, to not bet on a co-main. Like, obviously, I'll have some action like everyone, but as far as like put in real solid units, this is a tough one. We talked about it before the stream. I'm gonna actually double down on that and agree with you. Let's go over 1.5. Dober, we know what we're getting in his chin, and I think even though Manuel Torres has got cracked in his last fight, I think this one plays out, and if we see a finish, it'll be later in the fight.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I think it's gonna go over. Like, Dober's fighting so deliberate in these fights now too, like where he's like slowly inching in, throwing to the body so much. He's not like, I don't think he's gonna go out there and like go balls to the wall. I mean, maybe he will, but it seems like he's been fighting a lot smarter. And Torres, dude, I saw people were like shitting on the guy's chin, but dude, to me, the way that he survived that first knockdown and he was right back up like in his face again like that, like it was bad fight IQ, but his recoverability was like fucking crazy because he literally almost got his leg snapped. Like, he got dropped so bad and he came back pretty hard. But, yeah, what do you think about it, Billy? You think Torres can bounce back, or you got the veteran here?
I got Torres in this matchup, but when I wrote down my picks for the card, the fight ended up being the last one I ended up writing down. So that shows my level of confidence in that pick. But I think Manuel Torres is the side that's like dog odds here. I think Drew Dober on paper should win this matchup, but none of these fights usually play out like it's supposed to on paper. And I think Drew Dober's chin is just deteriorating, and I feel like Manuel Torres can definitely find it early.
Damn, you think he's going to knock him out in round one?
It's my least confident pick of the card.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that would be sick. Like, that would be like a huge highlight for him if he got that shit done. But
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I think it's gonna happen.
I think Dober's way better on the.
I think it's gonna happen because people are gonna be pissed about the main event, man. People are gonna be pissed about that main event. It's not gonna go the way people think it's gonna go.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Damn, I guess we know you're gonna talk in the main event. But you think like I guess it's like a different
he's not, I mean,
Torres has like that long arm snap type of shit. Like, I'm saying him or Gene Silva, like, who hits harder, it's kind of like hard to say. I guess I would say Gene Silva, but
I would easily.
They're like different body types, though. Well, it's like Torres has that, like, he has that where he could snap.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I guess I'll let Billy go first on the main event since he's gonna have a hot take here with Steve Erceg versus Brandon Moreno. What do you got here, Billy?
I wouldn't say a hot take, but this is what I call the bookie rug pull of the night here. This is the one everybody's sitting back, all comfortable, thinking the Duke basketball game's going to be coming on and stuff like that. And some parlays are going to fall by the wayside here tomorrow night in the main event when Steve Erceg comes in here and gives Brandon Moreno a run for his fucking money. And I think a lot of people are underestimating Steve Erceg coming into this one. I get it. He got knocked out by Kai France in this last one, but he's got to be somewhere in the middle of like the Pantoja performance was a really good performance where like it was tight going into the last round, but then the Kai France one he got knocked out in, and the other ones that weren't level of competition wise, he ran right through it. So there's got to be somewhere in the middle, and I feel like with Moreno's counterpunching, that's how you kind of give away rounds, and it'd be interesting to see how the altitude and experience will play into this matchup. But I think Steve Erceg could definitely give him a run for his money. Maybe it's a better spread play, like plus 5.5, minus 135 is probably a better play to attack it. But I definitely think Steve Erceg can win this main event, and people are going to be pissed. Like, I thought this line should be like minus 145, minus 150. So to see it at 250 is just can't agree with him, man. I think Brandon Moreno is on the back end of his career, and Steve Erceg is the best is yet to come.
Yeah, I think Steve actually opened as the favorite. To give you some ability, I think Moreno was plus 105 when the line first opened, but yeah, he took a ton of money now at this point. Yeah, Erceg was minus 125 and Moreno was plus 105 when they first opened the line. But Yeah, what do you think, Fitz? You think Usyk's got a chance here, or are you rolling with Moreno?
I mean, have a chance, yeah. Win the fight, no. Um, that's just being honest. I got Moreno. We it's just one where I'm tough. I mean, I know Usyk like supposedly like is a really good grappler. I don't know if his grappling's Brandon Moreno level. I think Brandon's better everywhere. Maybe Usyk has more punching power. That's the one advantage he might have. But I expect Moreno to dominate him and get a win finally in Mexico.
Yeah, I actually agree, man. I think this is a good matchup for Brandon, honestly. I mean, Steve, maybe he'll have change it up, but the guy likes to box, and I feel like Moreno, uh, I don't know.
One
I
of the
don't
best
see him.
boxers in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to land just these 1-2s. And he's not like a super high volume guy. And one thing I will say, dude, this guy, like, I know you said he ran through those people, Billy, but like, dude, Matt Schnell dropped him. I'm pretty sure. I think Costa dropped him too. Like, he gets rocked in almost every fight. This guy, even David Dvorak, he was like winning the whole fight, and then he got like wobbled and lost a round, and then ended up losing. But I don't know. He had the great fight with Pantoja where I honestly thought he arguably could have won that fight, like won the decision, but that's a way different matchup. I mean, Pantoja's striking is not the greatest, and Usyk's a big guy. Like he wasn't the easiest person to take down. With this one, I just feel like he's gonna struggle a little bit. And I mean, Moreno's 0. I think he's 0-3 in Mexico, so he needs to get a win in Mexico before he retires from UFC. And I think the UFC is definitely trying to get Moreno the win, man, because they had Usyk fighting Asu Mabayev, which is like the complete opposite style of Moreno, booked to fight like weeks before, and then they told him like in the middle of his training camp, like, nah, never mind, bro, you're gonna fight in Mexico against Brandon Moreno. It's like, to me, they totally switched up his whole training camp, like, but he was up for it. It's like a way more high profile fight too. And why I think it was weird though is like because Asu still fought on that card, like, so I don't get why they did that. They like just scrapped that fight to put Steve here, but maybe they had someone else they wanted Moreno to fight and it didn't work out or something. But to me, that's kind of weird. Like it's like they pick someone they think he's definitely gonna beat, but I mean, do you guys think that matters at all, or it's kind of just like whatever?
Yeah, I mean, you might be looking into it a little too much there, but I think Usyk just kind of has, he fought for the title, probably just a little bit more of a following. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, but I'm saying like I wonder why like they set this main event. So like they set this up like 8 weeks before the fight card, like, you know what I mean? And Steve was booked to fight someone else. It's like maybe they had someone else from Moreno to fight, or it didn't work out. I don't know, but
Maybe they needed an opponent for Manel Cape because Manel Cape was originally supposed to fight.
Yeah, they also might have been thinking that Diego Lopez was going to be headlining this, or Yair. You know what I mean? They might have thought Ilya was maybe fighting in Miami 8 weeks ago.
yeah,
A lot of things change.
Dude, it would have been sick if they would have done like Brandon versus Horiguchi, since you're saying they signed. That would have been
That's like a Legends fight.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we'll see if Steve can come out here and get this upset, but kind of rolling with Moreno. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching this breakdown and prediction video. Thanks everyone that jumped on and said Calvin fell onto the scale. I don't know. I got to go back and watch it.
That was pretty hilarious.
His hip is messed up. Yeah, I don't know. I got to see what you're talking about because I don't really remember. But yeah, man, definitely think Piper's gonna get that one. But anything you guys want to say before we get out of here?
Not much, guys. Enjoy the fights tomorrow. Make some money. I hope you guys enjoyed the insight we brought. And yeah, like I said, just most importantly, enjoy the fights. Have fun.
1,000%. I agree with Fitz. I just second what Fitz says. Make sure you guys tap in. Hopefully we get Fitz on the Pups First Radio live stream tomorrow so we still have some fights and make some cash.
Yeah, man, for sure. Go check out that Pup Sports live stream tomorrow for sure. And yeah, man. Hopefully we can make some money. Hopefully some of these underdogs cash, and we can all be profitable tomorrow. But all right, guys, peace out.